Because I don't want to call no other names. I don't want to call no other names on it because I don't want to be getting no viral moment on this bitch where they video my shit and have me on the shade room and everywhere other fucking room. Think about what I'm getting ready to say to you all. When you sign up to these major companies, these major corporations, and they make you a billionaire, and you're doing all kind of wild shit around them and all kind of wild shit with them, and they make you a billionaire. They feel like they made you. They feel like they made you. So when you go rogue and you get to the point where you go to talking that shit about suing them and acting like and talking all that wild shit about you this and you that, and you suing them and they treating you some kind of way, and when you go rogue, them people coming. Them people coming now. Because they feel like they made you. They still buying and purchasing niggas. Oh, they're going to cut me off. Think about all these black dudes who went rogue, who start talking about these big-time billion-dollar corporations, stock market. When you affect a person's stock, when you fuck with their stock, and they made you a billionaire, they made you. They look at you and say, nigga, you ain't sold that many records to make you a billionaire. You ain't sold that many things to make you a billionaire. We partnered up with you using your name and likeness and your brand, and you made millions. We made you a billionaire. And when you go to talking that wild shit, hey, happy birthday. They will break you. I'm telling y'all some good shit. Think about the guys who done got on this app and talk about these people and their nationality. And talk about the other guys who were in the room that they made billionaires, and now you out the room and you want to talk shit about the dudes that's in the room and the people who made all these people. I'll give you some good information. See, you have a choice to go up in that room to sell your soul to the devil. Yeah, they're going to give you the millions. They're going to give you the billion. But when you fucking start thinking it's really about you, they will humble your ass so fast it'll make your head spin. Think about it. Think about the guys right now who are going through the shit right now, who was way up here. These people own senators. They own congressmen. They own these motherfuckers. They own judges. They own congressmen and senators who get judges nominated. They put all this, they dress you up like a fucking hoe on the street. They gave you the Bugattis, they gave you the mansions on 2 different coasts. They put you up on a pedestal because they need you. It's like some pimp shit. Now you want to bite the hand that feeds you. Don't your mama ever always tell you that? Your mama say, never bite the hand that feeds you. And so this is how the major corporations work when you try to come after them. Now you put a lawsuit in. Bam! Lawsuit. Fuck that shit. I'm suing their ass. I'm take their company down. Fuck that shit. They taking my brand and my name and likeness and they making millions of dollars. I want out of this contract. And now, mind you, these people on the stock market, they stock go down 5%. That just cost them some billions. So they're looking at this motherfucker, to the shareholders, this motherfucker is affecting our stock. They gotta, hold on, you just fucked up some billions of dollars. These are major corporations that are on the stock market that you can affect their stock and cost them in one day billions of dollars by having their stock drop because your sneakers, you telling people you don't want them selling your sneakers. You don't want them, they stealing money from you, ain't paying you off the liquor.
Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now I'm going to entitle this lesson, In the Case of Diddy. In the case of P. Diddy. Now the gentleman speaking was Uncle Luke. You know, he was very popular in the early 90s. You know, he's from out there in Miami. I believe he's a producer, you know, slash rapper, slash entertainer. And he's speaking on the Puff Daddy situation, the P. Diddy situation. And, you know, this is the main reason why the elites of Edom, the so-called white man, don't want us to know who we are, don't want us to know the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Holy Scriptures. Because when we have that lack of information, that's what allows him to have leverage over us. And P. Diddy is a prime example of that. You know, P. Diddy is a prime example of the elites having leverage over him. Now, if he would have read Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, the 13th chapter, he would have known not to be in this position. So let's get right into it. This is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13. I'm going to pretty much read through the whole chapter. It says, "He that toucheth pit shall be defiled therewith." And that's P. Diddy. He touched the pit and he got defiled. You know, the pit in which he touched, first and foremost, was partnering and signing with Clive Davis, you know, whom gave him the funding to start Bad Boy Records. That's the first pit he touched at in which he got defiled. And that's where he picked up that same-sex behavior that he's getting clowned for now. Secondarily to this position, to this predicament, the spirits, you know, the alcohol business, dealing with Sirach and Delion, you know, as you witness, you know, he's suing them because essentially he feels like he's being short-handed or shortchanged, you know, was owed to him, so to speak. You know, so now they're showing him who's really boss. That's why everything is happening the way it's happening, right? So it says, "He that touches pit shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him." And that's what happened with P. Diddy. You know, here it is, you fellowship with a proud man, Edom, so-called white man, and the elites, the lower elites at that, you know, they're proud men. They have all the money, you know, they could wish for. And now he's been likened unto them because now he feels entitled. You know, like Luke said, he's over there trying to bite the hand that feed him, showcasing that pride. Verse 2, it says, "Burden not thyself above thy power while thou livest, and have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself." And that's what P. Diddy did. You know, that's what he wasn't supposed to do. Now, if he would have understood and read these scriptures, he would have known that. You know, but now he's going through the chastisement and the judgment for doing so. You know, because now he's in a huge burden. Yeah, the video was released. He was pacing back and forth, you know, after he tried to flee to Antigua, I believe it was. So it says, "Burden not thyself above thy power while thou livest, and have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself." Because at that point, now they're just going to use and abuse you. You know, when someone is stronger than you, when someone has more resources, when someone is richer than you, they're going to see what they can use and gain from you and then dispose of you. You know, put you into an open shame. That's what's happening. You know, and it's happened to countless other entertainers, but we focusing on Diddy right now because he's a hot topic. Right? It says, "For how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together? They don't. For if the one be smitten against the other, it shall be broken." The rich man have done wrong, and yet he threateneth with them. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, as Luke was saying. You know, here it is, Diddy partnered up with these individuals because here it is, they understand that their alcohol business can gain profit. Because why? Who's the biggest consumers? Negroes. You know, the so-called African American is the biggest consumer. Who's the face? You know, for all of these years, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They know and understand that, but they partner with him. And like he said, they felt like they made him a billionaire. He didn't make himself a billionaire. They felt like they made him a billionaire. So it says, verse 4, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. So like he said, he used his likeness, his image, and his name, to further the company. It says, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. And that's what you see now. These companies, the elites, these endorsements, everybody's forsaken Puff Daddy. Sean John got taken out of Macy's. He had to sell his ownership with Revolt, in which them so-called Jews gave him that. He was making money off of that. He no longer has stock or ownership in Deleon and the Ciroc. And I believe he was trying to partner with another alcohol company over, I believe, Europe, if I'm not mistaken. But that fell through, clearly. So now he's being forsaken. So now these Edomites are pretty much showing him who's boss. Now this also could be a psyop, a huge distraction from what's really going on. And it's funny, the information that came out with the owner of Nickelodeon, who was also a pedophile. He had a strange fetish for kids' feet. That's why the logo for Nickelodeon is a foot, because he had a fetish for kids' feet. So that pretty much got glossed over with the raid that happened at Diddy's mansions, I believe in LA and Miami. It says, verse 5, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bare and will not be sorry for it. And clearly he's being made bare. First he got sued by Cassie for $30 million. Then he got sued by another guy, Lil Rod, a fellow producer who worked on his latest album. That's another $30 million. He had to sell his portion in Revolt. So now P. Diddy is being made bare. And Diddy's the fall guy. He's the fall guy of a eggs trafficking ring, so they got to sacrifice him. Verse 6, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened in those backdoor meetings. They smiled upon Diddy. They praised him on his accolades, probably let him know how much of he's a likable individual, deceiving him, putting hope in him, just so they can get what they want out the deal. It says he will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? What do you want? Do you want the cars? You want the clothes? You want the women? You want the mansions? You want the jewelry? And they promise him these things. This is what happens when you sell your soul to the devil. And he sold his soul to the devil time after time after time after time. For him to be on top this long, come on. It says, and he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. And we see that happening, playing out right before our eyes. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. Diddy clearly didn't read this chapter. Verse 9, if thou be invited of a mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much the more he will invite thee. Like Cat Williams said, you got to tell Diddy no. You know what I mean? You got to tell Diddy no. Diddy should have told those higher ups no. You know what I mean? He should have been content with what he had at the time. But now him being that much more greedy, try to build greater, now that became his downfall. Nobody's going to look at Diddy the same. Just like they don't look at R. Kelly the same. His name is going to be smut. And we know, according to the scriptures, a good name is better than precious ointment. Verse 10, it says, press thou not upon him, lest thou be put back. Stand not far off, lest thou be forgotten. Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. But Diddy thought he was equal to his superiors. That's why he drew up that lawsuit against him. For with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. And this is wisdom. This is how you receive wisdom. This is how you exercise discernment, by picking up on these scriptures and then applying it to real life situations. But cruelly he will lay up thy words and will not spare to do thee hurt and to put thee in prison. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awaken thy sleep. Love the Lord all thy life, and call upon him for thy salvation. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. So that's why Diddy could cleave according to those so-called Jews, because they the same person. You know, they sodomites, they're proud, they're mischievous, they're deceitful, all of those things. What fellowship have the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog, and what peace between the rich and the poor? As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor, and Diddy's being eaten up. He's consuming. He's being consumed. All his assets, all his wealth, everything's being eaten up. As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall, his head is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. And this is how you indicate that Diddy's a poor man, because you don't see nobody coming out to support Diddy. None of his friends. You don't see Jay-Z speaking up for him. You don't see the girl Young Miami he was with speaking up for him. You don't see Steve Harvey speaking up for him. You don't see Jamie Foxx speaking up for him. All these people who are part of the boule, you do not see them speaking up for Diddy, defending his name. So this is how we know he's still a poor man, right? It says, when a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet meant, like, for example, now that so-called, I believe he was a so-called Jew who owned Nickelodeon. I forgot his name. You can look him up. Now, he's considered the rich man because he's an Edomite. You know, he had many helpers. Now, they helped him preserve his name by what? Throwing Diddy out there to distract that story from actually happening, from that story being headlined. You know, that's the games they play. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely and could have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow was this? And if he stumbled, they will help to overthrow him. You know, and that's why you see 50 Cent, you know, continue to get on Diddy's case. He got memes, he's reposting things, further discrediting his name. And I believe, you know, those are instructions that he's receiving. He's not letting up. Riches are good unto him that have no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. The heart of a man changeth his countenance, whether it be for good or evil, and a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity, and the finding out of parables is a wearisome labor of the mind. You know, and that takes the spirit, you know, to understand. You know, that takes the spirit to understand. Let me get the book of Mark, 8th chapter, 36th verse. Mark chapter 8, verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world, and lose his own soul? That's right. Yeah, Diddy has the whole world. He had the whole world in the palm of his hands. He had the making a band show, having people walk to Brooklyn for a cheesecake from Manhattan. You know, he's in a position of power. You know, but what is a profit for you gain the whole world and lose your own soul? Now you got nothing. You know, because you don't. Your integrity is no longer there. Your faith is no longer there. You smut, and the Lord is going to destroy you. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Not a damn thing, because your soul is eternal. Whatever you sold it for is temporary. You know, the ends don't justify the means. Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. Yeah, man. Clearly he's ashamed of the Lord, because he don't do anything that the Lord say. So now that judgment's falling upon him. Isaiah, let me see, soldier soul. Is it this? No. Where we at? Isaiah chapter 52, verse 3. For thus saith the Lord, ye have sold your souls for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. That's right. Diddy sold his soul for nothing. Sold his soul for nothing. Because what? The Edomites will and always turn their back on you. You know, the scriptures say, who shall pity a charmer? Where is that at? Let me see. You dance with the devil, and you get bit, that's on you. Sirach 12 and 13. Let me start at verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not all been altogether wiped away. Diddy should have read these scriptures. Set him not by thee, lest that when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And Diddy's clearly being overthrown. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at that last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? That's why nobody's having pity on Diddy. There's no pity on Diddy. You know what I mean? Because he brought it on himself. He was engaging in all kind of lascivious activity. You know, don't nobody feel sorry for him. Everybody's making memes and making jokes about it. You know, this is the era we're living in. No mercy. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. In fact, let me read verse 15. It says, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. Look at that. Look at that. He will not tarry. He's not going to sit by you. He's not going to sit by your side. Diddy been on top for the past 25, 30 years. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And this is the perfect opportunity. They created the opportunity. They started with Cassie, and it was a trickle-down effect. They set him up with the madness. Here it is. His superiors were the one engaging in all the activity that he was in. They supplied the activity, but you're the fall guy. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. So, that's the scriptures right there. These are words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, words written thousands of years ago being applied today. This is how we know we got the truth. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.